Well, hopefully that
Will
will
they
be
get
the
the
last
first look
hot
at
dog
everything?
I have for like 6 months.
And it was just a
And it was
small,
all your fault.
and it was just a small hot dog, Watchers.
Oh, let's see. Never would have
You ain't got
happened.
no
You should just
paperwork.
ate it.
You know, it takes a while to get that stuff together.
Hey, you
You
ain't
keep
keep
them in there too. Where did you and Becky go on the first day?
Midway for a hot dog.
I can't even remember. Don't ask stuff
We
like that.
won't
You
tell
get me in
her.
trouble.
We won't tell
No,
her.
actually, this started on this end of the road. I'm just.
Hey, by the way, Mark,
Conversation.
by the way, I've never taken a woman on the first date to get a hot dog, I will say that.
No, it'd have been a hamburger. I'm a hamburger.
But the Sam's hot dog, I mean, it's hard to do. Tell me.
Well, if it was who you wanted to be with, it wouldn't matter about the hot dog.
Boom! Right there!
You don't know that on the first date.
But no, I'm saying that's the perfect time to find out.
For to get it.
You're going, you weed out the chaff right there.
Oh, please.
What are they in it for? I'm in it for a gold lace hot dog, what do you do?
I'm sitting there really low. No higher.
Where you going?
I'm going down here on the end.
Oh, can't believe you said that.
Hey,
I got in this one because I thought it'd be high. All these chairs are low.
Get them down here in the
Oh, some
hot
of them
seat.
are up.
Yeah, get in there. This is off.
I hope this one don't
Better
drop
you
me.
than me.
What'd you do, Lorraine?
That's for Kenny.
Ain't nothing coming, is it?
I already got one.
I
He's
got
already got one.
Oh, he's got one?
I moved mine.
Oh, he moved.
So the judge is not here, so. We got out last night.
You just have to get up and walk out.
You give him a time, thanks.
All right, it's 4:45. We'll call budget and finance to order. Everybody needs to take a look at your minutes there from the meeting last night.
Make a motion to approve these minutes from
All
last
right.
night.
Second.
If there's no additions or corrections, we have a motion, no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes 5-0. Now we need to approve our agenda. We need a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Carl, second by Diane. Any discussion? Anybody need to amend the agenda? If not, we'll vote on it as we've got it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, the first budget we come to is animal control.
I believe this budget was passed by Health and Welfare on 6/13. There's a copy of the minutes there attached, and I think the information on the budget's on the third page of those minutes, but it passed 4-1.
So we're looking at, got 39,94.57. What's that? There's a 54.
54, is that the increase?
Is that the increase?
54.94 looks like the increase.
Okay.
What's
I'm
39.94?
not sure what the 39.94.57 is.
All right, I just kind of wondering what that was.
Well, they were trying to give a $2 raise, and they're trying to come up with different figures. Actually, it'll go with,
Linda, are you comfortable with her amount she's got where they cut some of these accounts?
Yes. Yes.
With those issues?
Yeah, she's increased her veterinary services, increased her drugs and medical supplies, that's about what it's running this year, so, yeah, I'm comfortable.
You're
with
comfortable, you
those.
think we'll be all right as far as that? Do I hear a motion, we approve the animal control budget?
Without the raise,
Whatever the committee wants to do.
Is this the, kind of the final thing where we need to be deciding with the raises, on
Yeah,
without the raises?
really, if we're gonna give the $2 raise in this one, it needs to be put in there, because if she gets the $2 raise and we give any other employee a raise, she won't qualify for the additional raise. So really, it needs to be,
So if we approve the 102 requested budget, 102,844.57, that includes the raise, right?
that'll include the raise.
I make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion? So that'll actually be raising the animal control budget about $5,500 above what they got last year. That's what we'll be doing. If there's no more discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
no.
All those opposed? Passes 4-1. I got too many papers. All right, now we are on to the schools general fund.
Diane, I think this passed, the school's general purpose passed education.
Last meeting.
Yes. We don't have any minutes yet, but Carleen did send an email today. It said, that the schools passed and the library also passed, and they asked for an increase, but we'll get to that one.
We didn't, yeah, we just decided we'd send that on and we'd discuss the library part. Because they wanted a $10,000 increase, I think.
Both school, it says both school budgets were approved as presented.
And they're asking for no more than they got last year. And we can't cut them.
And we can pay.
So we could look through it if you want to, but
Is it basically the same thing, Terry, as what it was?
basically the same things it was last year.
It's the same
That
funding.
same funding.
I make a motion we approve, we don't have a choice.
We don't have a choice in
I'll
it.
second.
I got a motion by Ken, a second by Diane. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
Let me read this. I have a conflict of interest because my wife sat on the school board, and no way to affect my vote.
I guess that qualifies for the next one too, right? Now we're on to the cafeteria fund, which it's the same way as the schools. We couldn't change it if we wanted to.
I make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion by Diane,
I second.
got a second by Carl. Any discussion? Michael, you want to read that?
Yeah, they have a conflict of interest, no way to affect my vote, I vote yes.
All right, if there's no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes 5-0. All right, we're down to the Magnus Library, and that's where they're asking for a $10,000 increase.
And this one probably needs to be discussed because of the maintenance bill.
You gotta give them what you gave them last year.
Yeah.
We have to,
But,
yes.
but they're
yes.
asking for a 10,000.
But if you give them another $10,000 next
It'll be
year,
that way.
it'll be that way from now on.
Right. And if you lower it, done been there and done it, we don't wanna do that.
We can't lower it.
We
No,
can't, we
well,
can't
we
touch.
can, we did one year.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we did, we
We got a nice
tried.
little letter
We got a nice little letter.
for the staff.
That's what makes some of these so hard if people don't understand. They went and got maintenance efforts passed,
Right.
and then if we get in a tight spot, we can't touch them. So you have to watch how many times you raise them.
I make a motion, we give them $116,000.
Well, we're gonna discuss this live, $10,000, or is that what, that's over what it was?
That's what we did last year.
That's what we did last year.
They're asking for $126,000.
Okay, I seen it.
Maybe the city would step up this year, give them $100,000.
I think they asked the same amount for the city, from the city, but we'll see.
Well, we're supposed to be, this, thing in Warren County together, working together in the city and giving them part of money on everything.
Well, I have a motion. Do I have a second to that effect for $116,000? I got a second from Kent. Is there any more discussion?
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Carl made the
Carl
motion and
made
Kent
it.
second.
And that is to pass it without the 10,000.
He said the $116,000, so he said. There's no more discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I
All
wish
those
we could give
opposed?
everybody a raise, but we tight at the end of this thing, Terry.
Yeah, well, we could have to go back and go all the way back through.
That's right.
So, passes 5-0.
Does all this go together on this next one, or is it just
All of these-
paperclip?
All of these are
Oh.
through policy and personnel, so I just attached
Yeah,
what
gotcha.
they did on first.
Okay, you want me to say something, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I mean, it come through your committee, so.
That's what I asked. This one here is County Executive Office, and we did pass it as it was approved. We did not, the best I remember, you correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, we didn't approve the raise that we decided to bring it to the committee, and that's $2,000 for Carol. But I'm for giving her $2,000. I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying, but that's me personally, and I would vote to give it to her. If anybody deserves it, she does. And there's a lot of deserving people, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand that either, but I'd like to make a motion that we pass it subject to y'all's vote on the raise. I vote yes. I make a motion to approve it that way.
That brings her up to the 37? She
Yes,
deserves
that's
that.
correct.
You out here a second on that?
I'll second.
Is there any more discussion? Can we cut that county executive?
We tried, but they
Oh, did you?
I thought you raised it.
He's put some kind of
Somebody
TCA
kept-
code out there. What's
Yeah,
that for?
band-aided or
Yeah,
something. I thought, what is this?
I had my friend do that.
You know that was coming out, didn't you? Yeah.
Like I've said before.
If there's no more discussion, we'll, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes.
And I just want to make clear that that passed as presented
Yes.
with the raise included.
No,
No,
It was not
it
the
didn't,
raise included.
policy and personnel, it did right then.
yeah,
It did in
it
policy.
did.
Right, but it is right now.
Yeah.
So
It was approved like it was, except we was gonna discuss the raise.
Right. And so tonight, though, the committee voted to approve it as it's presented by the county executive with the
That's correct.
$2,000.
That's
Got
correct.
it.
Now we're at the finance department. I guess this is yours, Linda.
This is mine, I just asked for the exact same budget as last year.
And
just
whatever
to be-
raise.
Just, yeah,
I think it was approved the way it's presented.
it was just whatever raises the other employees get.
I make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion by Carl. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second by Ken. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll vote on it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0. And we're at the election commission.
And we may have helped on this one, I think the only difference was, there was more election elections or something, but you're gonna know more about that than I do. I can't remember all of it.
I think she's got 2 elections this time, so she's got some additional expenses related to those 2 elections. August and November.
Was there a raise for the poll people? Wasn't
Yeah.
much, but it a little bit.
She's included, $100 a month raises for the 2 full-time, per month. She has included, looks like the part-time people, increasing from $9 to $10 an hour. And that might be it.
Now, if, Mr. Chairman, if we give David and Susie that $100 a month raise, they won't get any other raise, right? If we do it that way, if we increase somebody, am I correct on that or am I wrong?
Well, I mean, it would be up to what we vote, but I
Okay.
would assume it would be that way. If you
Me
let-
too, but I just want
Yeah.
to make sure.
Let me ask a question. Before we get into stigma, we're giving all them raises. And when we get down to the final raises, some people gonna be left out. You know, it's just, we give them a $1,200 raise a month. And what we gonna give the rest of the people? I mean, $1,200 a year. You know, I'm just looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, you guys decide how much raise you're gonna give everybody, including in the budget for this stuff, giving them raises.
Policy and personnel did pass it without the raises.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked that question. We
There's
just
gonna be some
But
hard
that's without the raises.
Just without the raises, policy personnel passed. But I understand what she was told. She was there that night about the poll people. They work a lot of hours and don't make money.
This is what they've been getting.
This is the election commission, those commissioners.
All right, and they get that too. Right.
They get the monthly at $55.
Yeah, that's
And then
her.
they have 6 meetings per election. So that would be at $55 each.
Okay, so that's the same thing they've
Right.
been getting. Okay.
That's their receiver. Yeah, right there.
It's the 55 per meeting, I think, normal, regular.
Normal
monthly
regular
meeting,
meetings,
yes.
okay.
That's the poll people you're talking about?
Election commission.
So have they been getting like 45? Did you say increase by $10 or $9? This is hard to figure out, this one is.
A little bit.
They're asking for $100 a month increase for David and Susie or full-time
Uh-huh.
people.
Yeah.
Full-time.
And they're
Okay.
asking for $1 more raise for the poll people.
The
That
part-time,
was
the
the way I
part-time
understood it.
people who actually come in and work
During the
hours
elections,
during the election.
they've been getting like 8, and now they're asking for 9.
Yes.
And I personally don't have any
No,
problem
they've
with
been
that.
getting 9 and they're asking for 10.
10, okay.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
$100 a month, I asked for a big raise, if y'all remember, year before last, and
Yeah.
they got it. I think they should get the raises that we give everybody.
Everybody else.
That's my personal thoughts, and that's the only way I'll vote on it, because I think it's the best way.
Did she say anything while her travel? She needed another $1,000 in her travel.
Yeah, I noticed that, some of Is it meaning the travel between the polls that day?
I think that's what it is, it's more elections than it was last year. I believe that's, I recall, traveling back and forth. If you want me to make a motion to what I said, I will, Mr. Chairman.
All right, well, I'll accept the motion if you want to make one. We'll see if we can get a second.
I'll make a motion that we approve like it is, except for the $100 a month raises that they get what everybody else gets.
And what about the dollar a month for the
That we
part-time?
give them that,
Give
the
them
poll
the
people.
part-time
you're not talking about very much money. They're not here a lot, and a dollar is not gonna change how many days a year. Linda, they're not, we don't pay them much money, period. I'm talking about total. Well, it's kinda got it listed there, but you're not talking about a lot of money. But that's the way, that's my motion.
So the motion to approve all except the full-time raises,
Correct.
and those to be considered with other county boards.
Let me ask this question, does she have to go out of town a lot?
She has to go out of town occasionally to,
Oh, that's those two.
state
That's what we're
meetings.
talking about.
I know a lot of times they'll have a meeting in Memphis. There's and it's, from what I understand, probably mandatory for them once a year. And that's for election commissioners as well.
Okay.
All right, if I understand, we got a motion by Ken to accept the raise on to the $10 an hour, but on David and Susie, them to get whatever the rest of the employees get. And to accept the budget as presented to us.
I second it.
Got a second call. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
Next one is the property assessors budget. It passed, policy and personnel, with the legal representation amount and excluding raises.
And she discussed that, that's what she was discussing coming down the hall there, off of that legal rep.
Yeah, the legal.
That legal has not been in there last year, right?
No,
Okay.
it's a new thing she's added in.
It's my understanding that's to assist, with appeals, on property values.
She's gave us some information a while ago that, I'm getting ahead of the chairman here, it's all right, I'll talk,
Yeah,
if not, I'll.
go ahead, do your.
But she has talked to Larry Stanley and he is okay with it. It's to represent her because his lawyers are coming in and they're winning all these cases and lowering the tax base on this stuff. And she got no way to defend it without hiring a lawyer. She's got a contract and he's looked at it and he's also looked at the letter from the gentleman's name is Robert Lee in Mount Juliet, the attorney. But we talked to her about it in policy and personnel, and she talked for some time, and we approved it. I think, did you not say we did approve it with that?
Yeah, it was approved.
I think it was unanimous.
It was passed as proposed with the legal representation excluding raises is the information.
So if I need to make that motion, I'll still make it the same way without the employees get to raise that everybody else gets.
And it looks like about a 5% raise she's calculated.
I'll second that.
Wait just a minute.
That was your-
Michael, let me in, maybe.
Approve without raises.
Yes. Sorry. All right, we got a motion to approve it with the legal in it and without the raises. Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
next one is the trustee's office. It also passed, policy and personnel as proposed. And it says excluding raises, but she's a fee office, so.
So she does her own, she does
There'll
her
have to
own.
be a
raise.
letter of agreement signed. on
What
this.
did she get last year?
The, same amount.
56, it's
Mhm.
56
I looked
thousand.
back at last year's and it was the same as 15-16.
Okay. Can I hear a motion we approve?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Ken, do I hear a second? A second from Diane. Any discussion? It's the same as it was last year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
The next one is veteran service officer, and it passed as proposed by policy and personnel, excluding the raise.
You want to talk?
My time now?
Yeah, we'll let you talk.
Okay, thank y'all. The reason I'm asking for this raise is that my hours have been cut back. Okay, prior to that, everything was going great. I was working 3 days a week, taking care of all the veterans and everything. I'm also retired from the TCRS, and I received a letter back in October. I've got a copy of it if anybody would like to see it, informing me that I had to cut back my hours from working, or they would in turn take the money out of my retirement pay if I go over 960 hours for the year. My workload has stayed the same. Nothing has changed. I'm still doing the work that I was doing prior to this. A lot of people don't realize what all it involves in the Veterans Office. It's not I walk in and sit down and took over the job. I have been totally trained for the job. I go to 4 quarterly meetings each year. I have to pass a yearly SOTS test, Service Officer Training, in order to maintain and keep my job here. You know, and so it is a lot of work in it. Nothing is the same of any two veterans that walk in there. I mean, it can go in 100 different directions. All sorts of forms, papers that must be filled out that I have to send in to VA. Got to be completely what we call digits to digits, and there's no paperwork involved in the claims now. It's all in the computer. So there's a lot more work involved in it than what a lot of people think. Also, all the widows in the county. If they come in, qualify for a pension, I have to get them qualified, boom, all that paperwork has to go in, and it's a continuous, ongoing thing every day. I'm set up now currently by appointments only. Yep, I can take walk-ins, no problem at all. Normally, from start to finish on one veteran, if he's filing for a service-connected disability, you're looking at 4 hours of working with that one veteran. If he's got everything there and got it together, the claim goes in, and then it's followed through VA. I have to follow it step by step on where it's at. I was trained how to do that and go into all of that. Again, I'm not asking for an increase in the budget. I'm just asking to be able to move some money around so that I could get a pay raise too. The other service officer was here. I'm not sure what his pay was, but I know it's more than what I've been receiving and will receive even if I got this. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Can I
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
What is the other charges? What does that entail? The 4800 went down,
Okay.
almost $1,000.
Linda, have you got,
It's on the second.
can you
page.
explain it?
It's on the second page.
I'm sorry. I was listening to you when we
Okay.
first page.
All right.
It's on there.
Any other questions? Thank you.
So actually, his total budget's actually the same as last year. He's just moved, trying to move some money around.
And
So
as a retired TCRS employee, we don't have to pay Social Security out on him. We only pay Medicare.
So if you actually get rid of him, I mean, if he were to leave and you got someone else, you would have to pay the social security.
So you can see, where we budgeted last year on his, the
Yeah.
social security, we're really only having to pay Medicare now. He's considered a rehired annuity.
His budget's the same as it was last year, Terry, no more. That motion.
You make a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second, Diane, any discussion?
I was gonna ask you, what did you mean when you said you had received something from TCRS?
Yes, ma'am, I have the letters here.
Well, I mean, just sum it up.
That's right, I thought I'd give them out. I don't know if everybody there, that informing me from TCRS that I can only work 120 days per year.
Okay, so
And,
I'll just read it later. I was just interested because
Oh.
I also connected
Yeah,
that.
I wasn't aware of it when I retired from the school. I didn't realize that.
All right, we got a motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now we're at Circuit Court Clerk.
Yes, and I don't think this was passed yet by policy and personnel. She had not included her comparison from last year.
Okay.
It says, send back for more complete budget with comparisons of year to year. Send all back. What she did was brought in her request from last year, and I emailed it to all the committee members for them to
Cut off
see.
all of it, I couldn't read it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You cut it off, I mean, halfway in the numbers and everything.
Oh, well, that should have everything on it, those copies. She's pretty much asking for the same thing as last year, except her computer hardware support has increased, which we have no control over that, and we are required to have that by county audit.
Okay.
We are audited to make sure we have that support in case of a disaster. We can call them and we can be set back up pretty quickly. And she did ask for $1,000 for new office chairs.
She's had that copy machine. She's been making it for
She's
what, 5
working-
years?
Yeah, she'll work that thing till it falls
So
apart.
I don't have a problem where she's not using it and she's trying to make do with it.
Mr. Chairman, I think we actually, it may not have come out, we approved it subject to the members understanding what last year's was, and I think everybody got a copy of it. Everybody but me, I couldn't read it because it cut it off, but I think everybody else could. So I don't think we have to take it back, is what I'm saying.
Do you have a problem with us going ahead and voting on
No,
it?
sir, I do not.
And so we're trying to get some numbers so she can put,
Right.
you have to put all this together until we get it all in. You can't put nothing together.
I understand, and I make a motion we approve it.
All right, did I hear a second? Got a second, Carl, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes 5-0. Now we're at the clerk and masters.
Clerk and master passed, policy and personnel as proposed. You'll notice she doesn't have any salary orders in there. She's also considered a fee office and will sign a letter in agreement with her salaries.
We did remember that one was a fee on it. We forgot about that other one.
And she's asking for the exact same thing she got last year, correct?
Make a motion to approve this one.
I got a motion by Diane, is there a second? Got a second by Michael, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're down to drug court, which,
These are both grant.
Oh.
There's two of them. One is a drug court, one is a behavioral, they're both attached.
we don't put anything in this, do we?
They're both grants.
That's the way we looked at it, we just passed it on. We don't put the steam in it.
Can I hear a motion, we approve the drug court?
I make that motion.
Got a motion by Carl, second. Got a second by Michael, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
And the second one.
Passes 5-0.
You know, the one on the second one.
Yeah.
It's included in the same package.
Same package.
Judges making some money.
Do I hear a motion, we approve the second?
I make a motion to approve the second.
Do I hear a second? Got a second by Michael. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're down to general sessions.
General sessions, I think it passed as proposed. He does have a $1,000 salary increase on his administrative assistant. His salary is set by state statute.
Did y'all approve that with the raise or without?
I don't recall approving any of them with the raise.
With the raise, okay.
I don't think we did. Again, the minutes may reflect different, but I don't believe we did. It was not our intent to anyway. We meant to let Budget and Finance discuss the raises. And after Linda totals, see what it is. So if you need a motion, I would make a motion that we approve it without the $1,000 raise.
Without the raise. I got a motion to approve without the raise. Do I hear a second? Carl, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Now we're at the judicial commissioners.
Judicial commissioners, I think, passed as proposed, including the benefits approved by the court, excluding the raises.
Again, that is without the raises. But I'd like to make a motion on this one, and there's obviously a good reason, and I'll tell you why. Jim Hartman is we have assigned some things to him that he's been doing anyway. He has to work full-time. He's there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Other than going to lunch, he can't go anywhere. He has to stay out to jail. He has to sign everybody's time card. He does all the training, does all the scheduling. And this is some of this stuff he has not done. We've given him. Linda and I both have sat through all these meetings we've had about this, and I'd like to propose to give him $2. There's one making, or maybe two making more than he is. There is. Of course, neither one of them work very much, but they still make more than he does. And I actually think he deserves $2. You agree, Linda? I'm at y'all's mercy on it. I'm just asking. But I would make a motion for that reflect, and everybody else get the raises the county gets.
All right, everybody's heard Ken's motion. Do I have a second on it?
So raise Jim's to $2 more, so it would be
Yes.
$12.72, and the rest of them will just be pending whatever the rest of the
That's
county
correct.
employees.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's took on a lot more duties.
Yeah, I understand that,
And
yeah.
could I just mention something?
Yes.
Because I think I kind of worked up this budget. When I added everything in, I knew that we have 3 full-time now who's going to have vacation, sick days, holidays, where extra people are going to have to come in and cover
Yeah.
those shifts. So I included a little bit extra for that as well.
Okay.
Just to
And
make
while
sure
we
we're
were
covered.
discussing that, I guess I need to tell everybody, he was in this TCRA thing, and there was like $11,000 where he has worked over. He's got to pay that back to the state of Tennessee. And he agreed to do that on his own and just pay it back. He enjoys his job and he works hard, and I personally think he's doing a great job, or I wouldn't recommend it. But I do recommend it.
Well, I have a motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, we'll vote on giving him the $2 raise, and the rest of the employees will get whatever we come out with. for the rest of the county employees. All those in favor, say aye.
I just think it'd get him more in line.
I thought Diane
Diane
said.
seconded.
Any opposed? You for or against, Myra? I gotta know how to count.
She's doing all the work.
Well, so those other full-time ones do totally
Yes
different
or no?
deals.
They just work their regular schedule.
All right,
But they're just
fine.
considered.
They're not their own
If
call.
he was
Yeah,
a weak
but they put in
guy.
enough to be full-time.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
mean,
was kind of, what I was
Yeah, we had a
questioning
problem,
then.
we had to get straightened out with the state, but.
I didn't know if I was gonna get that out of my
We had so long to get it done.
Was I going to have to fight?
Yeah, you just got.
I thought he was asleep, that's why I punched him.
They work overtime, we got paid.
All right, now we're down to the juvenile court.
And juvenile court passed as proposed without the raises.
Chairman, if we will sum it up, and I'm gonna shut up and let somebody else talk about the raises.
It looks like the $2,700 for the insurance could be removed. They have a note on there that no one has it. If somebody quit and had to hire somebody else.
Did they use all this overtime pay?
Yes, they did. A little bit more this year.
They-
Those four juvenile.
Oh, that falls
falls
under,
under that.
okay.
They can go out on those cases.
So we fund all of this doesn't come under, there's no monies coming in from any other places.
We get a $9,000 grant to offset one of their salaries, but
Oh, okay.
a juvenile grant. But other than that, we have to fund it.
I make a motion, we approve this without the raises.
Without the raises.
And, whatever that, what Linda was talking about. but-
Linda,
The
do you
medical.
think we need to remove that, or will we be in trouble if
We just have to come up with it if somebody quit, they hired somebody that took it. It's a gamble.
it just helps so much?
It's a gamble,
Carl, do you want to put that in your motion to remove that, or?
The medical insurance,
Yes.
if nobody's using it, $2,700, yeah,
All right.
and the motion.
We've got a
No
motion to
one's
approve
using
it,
it.
to remove the 2,700, because no one's using the medical insurance that he has hired. And I hear a second on that.
Second.
Got a second by Ken. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 0. Now we're at, now you're up.
I included with my budget request a copy of what the other municipalities are paying. And I based the raise on the lowest, which is Putnam County, $42,500. It's really, the positions have 7 people in the past 5 years. And I think part of that reason is because there's such a disparity in the pays between the other positions. Pretty much, anybody, money isn't everything, but it's kind of hard when one of those positions comes open, not to seriously look at taking it. And I also included some counties that are about the same population as our county, what they're at. The other thing, I don't know if I included it, yeah, I'll send you a copy. Currently, the fees we charge are pretty much in line with the state, with minus the $100 they charge for HVAC and plumbing, which is something they added over several years back. And based on those fees, I did it June to June. if we were charging those fees, we would have collected approximately $9,600 over the past year. And total fees that were collected were about $32,700. Another couple of line items on my budget that could be looked at. I currently have all my certifications. I've already got all the continuing education I need for my 2017 renewal, so I won't be doing any more continuing education until 2020. So the travel charge and the in-service training, which would cut, if you had hired somebody new in here and they had to go get all the classes and all that stuff, that would be where that might come from. But basically, that's just going to be turned back in at the end of the year.
Ken, what y'all?
I think we did it like we do the rest of them, we passed it without the raises, isn't that right?
That's what's on the,
I think we did it on all of them that way, Mr. Chairman, I believe.
What's his rate now? He's another one that falls like that on a control officer, and he's gonna have to go on the air. He'll be based, what is his hourly rate based on now? Shouldn't ask
I
you this.
didn't look at his, 32,080. Is the 32,080 what you actually make right now?
Yeah.
Do you work 38 hours a week or 40? 38,
Oh, yeah, 38 or whatever it is.
okay, whatever the building's open.
Yeah, I'm here.
It looks like, based on this amount, at 38 hours per week, it would be 16.23, but don't hold me to that, I would have to check and see.
All right. What would and I don't even know, this is just something I'm throwing out, if we done a $2, what would that equal to? I know we're doing that in a lot of the other departments, that's kind of and that may not be enough, but I don't see how we can give that big a raise at one time.
It'd be about almost a $4,000 raise, $39.52 additional at 38 hours.
What's yours?
Could you tell that again, Linda, I can hear you clearly.
I'm sorry. $2 an hour raise would be $3,952 additional. 36,032.
It's looking a lot better.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
And if I could just say, regardless of what we do with the raises, I think we still should look at getting our fees equal with what the state's charging. Should there ever be a point in time where we have to bring in the state to cover this position, either illness or change in employees or whatever, basically, rather than the pay are set now, the county would end up having to pay more than they're collecting for the state to do the inspections.
How long has it been since they did that? You told me earlier, and I forgot.
It's been several years, I'm not sure exactly when they added that $100 fee too.
I know one of the meetings with the last one we was in, we attempted to do exactly what the state was doing, didn't we, Herschel? That was our intent, I think. And I honestly didn't know that went up.
Yeah, our numbers basically follow the same, except for we've got a
Yeah.
in-between at the, I think it's the 5,000 to 50,000 is kind of an in-between number that we're, give the community a little break on.
That'd be something we need to look at, Hollister and personnel need to look at that, Linda. Well, I think probably so, later on, and then I'll see. But I agree, we would probably need to match what the state said, I think, I need to look at it, but I believe we do. I appreciate your comments on that. Again, I'll shut up, Terry.
No, go ahead, because I need
So
some
if we're
direction
matching
where
what
the
the
committee.
state says, what did you, I'm sorry, I lost you too, what did the state say?
Well, we can't do that in this.
No, that's
That's a
that needs to
different
start.
deal. Yeah. He's just telling us that there's a fee that they're charging that we're not charging.
Okay, gotcha.
And when we approved that, the last time we approved it, we was matching the state, was my understanding.
Okay.
And everything was supposed to match down through there. Because of the reason you said, if they come in, that's what's gonna happen. And the county didn't have to pay it, and we don't need to do that. And I certainly don't wanna add any additional fees on anybody, that's for sure. I'll hush on that. Leave that alone.
What does the committee wish to do?
So are you thinking then that you need to go back and have another meeting and discuss all that before you bring it to the
That ain't got
table?
That ain't got anything to do with his
No.
budget, that's a later issue.
Later issue.
You're right.
It's a revenue issue.
Yeah, that's a revenue issue.
Yeah.
Expense issue.
My understanding is man's doing a good job, and I certainly don't want to lose him. If there's any way in the world we can keep him, what he mentioned a while ago about other counties,
And as I said, those two other line items basically aren't gonna get used.
you don't use those other two line items in there.
I've already got all my certifications, I've already got all my continuing educations through 2020.
So those two could just be completely removed this year. Travel and service.
We remove those two line items,
That's over 2,000 something dollars.
you know.
It's 2250.
Mhm.
Well, I said I was gonna shut up, but I certainly believe he deserves at least what we talked about there a while ago, if not more. Of course, the 2250, I'll let somebody else talk about that. I'm not making a motion, I'm just making that comment, he deserves more than that, obviously, like a lot of other folks do. But, that's everybody else's thoughts on it, I guess, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what would the committee think about taking those two items and adding that to the $2, and that would give him a 6205?
I was just
I was
fixing to
thinking
make,
that.
I was just fixing to make that suggestion, Terry, that would be great with me.
I know that's maybe not what you're asking, but
Well, we
I
got
said
plenty
money
of
is everything, and I certainly enjoy working on it.
That's what they'll put him up to there.
it's
Maybe that's
about
what I'm saying.
38.
Yeah, be a little over 38, I think. Still not what it wants, but it's gonna be there.
Mhm.
15 is $62 and 2 additional, and then that would be $38,282 total.
I'll make that motion, I'll make that.
I'll say.
All right, you're making the motion to add. You help me with that one.
Okay, to approve with the salary at $38,282,
Yeah, that's the best way
remove
to
the
handle it.
in-service training and remove the travel.
And travel.
So basically, it's giving him $2 plus those two.
Plus those two items out of his budget that he's trying to to do without there.
Well, I will second that motion, I may have already, but
All right, got a motion.
We did motion.
Carl
Carl and
Ken.
Ken.
and Ken. Any more discussion? Ursula, you got anything to say? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Got 4-1.
now I can be quiet.
I don't know where you can. We may have another one.
I wasn't in on these now.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No.
I think the next one's the board.
Yeah, where's the more?
I love this one. Safety committee approved, the board budget on June sixth. Looks like unanimously, 5-0. I did talk with Preston about this today, and to me, it looks like we could reduce some of the utilities. We, last year when we first set up this budget, we had no clue as to what expenses we were gonna have. So with the cooler that would be running all the time,
What do you believe we
we had
reduced?
utilities. I think we could reduce them down to about 4,500 instead of 7,500.
So actually, that would make the board 10-5.
Yes. Our per diem fees are getting up there too. Those are our death certificates.
That's,
They're getting all up there too.
but that's something we can't.
Right. And I
Can't
don't know if
control
we
that.
need to move that $3,000 up into that one.
Is this in the general fund?
This is the general fund, yeah, and I'll see what we pay for.
Okay.
We are getting those monthly now where he was sending them.
Give them more money.
Yeah, it's $100 now. We've already got 12.8 out of there this year. And we've still got probably one more bill coming in. So the last one was $1,100.
You might be,
We'll probably be okay this year.
yeah, probably be right there.
How many have we housed, Herschel? Any?
Do what?
Bodies, how many bodies we got through?
20.
I think Preston told me too. He's right on it.
So that, 3,000 that's coming off the, coming off the utilities, you said something about moving it up to the,
I'm just asking what the committee thinks about moving it up to the
Top line.
coroner's fees. That are the other per diem and fees is the doctor who signs the death certificates. So I think they're probably gonna be $1,400 $14,000 this year.
What if we raised that 17.5 and took 2 off of the utilities? Would you put that?
I mean, that, yeah, I just wanna make sure we're covered, we
Yeah.
got enough money to cover what.
who is the county coroner
Dr. Morgan.
from here?
Yeah, you have to sign all death certificates and just, it goes straight to them. There's a bunch.
There's a bunch.
What do y'all want to do?
Where's
I don't
she
know
at?
under the